Welcome back to another episode of Johnny Truckin' Outdoors. My name is John, and I want to personally thank John Bergsma for inviting me up to Meadow Lake up in Ontario, Canada to catch walleyes and northern pike. This was a trip of a lifetime. Another beautiful walleye up here on Meadow Lake in Canada. Fish on. Nice. Yep, fish on. Another walleye. Doubled up.
I don't think we're walleye.
This guy choked.
Oh, I don't think we're walleye. We might have to chase this fish. Dad wants to run it.
What is this?
It's gonna be a little fight.
Beautiful walleye.
Oh, it's big enough.
Maybe that's what was scaring all the fish. Very nice.
They're good. Thick one. Not real big, but thick.
Once in a lifetime experience. 3.5 days, over 1,000 walleyes caught, over 400 northern pike caught, right up here in Meadow Lake, Canada. Hey guys, so I was just trolling and I caught this beautiful walleye. I'm going to measure it here in a second, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I caught it on a Rage Craw from Strike King. Very beautiful fish here. It is absolutely so beautiful up here in Canada. We were having short lunches every other day and cooking up steaks. Man, the food was so good. This is Selle with John Bergsma. I had the opportunity to be fishing with these legends and had an awesome time. There were so many loons out on the lake, and it was pretty cool to see the nature around the area. We even saw a golden eagle as he was flying past the cabin. It was pretty awesome. So we arrived at the float plane that morning right around 7 o'clock. We went ahead and hopped in that float plane, and then we got the engines going. Not me, of course. The pilot did. But this is a pretty big float plane. It held all 8 guys here on the trip, as well as the pilot. We then took off and went on about a 30 to 45 minute float plane trip. It was pretty cool looking down from the float plane, and I looked for moose and elk but didn't see anything through the trees there. It was pretty foggy out at some points in time. But next thing you know, we were landing at the cabin and getting ready to gear up and get ready to go fishing. We then went ahead and started unloading the whole plane and pulling off all our food and water and fishing rods and gear for the next 3.5 days here at the Meadow Lake Lodge. It was pretty awesome. I had a drone with me and I flew it after the float plane and got some good footage of it taking off the water, and it was certainly quite foggy out that morning. This is actually my first time this far north in Canada, and it is so beautiful. I absolutely love it. All the guys were so eager to get out fishing. You can see them all getting their rods ready and everything else. It was pretty cool. I went ahead and packed that drone up, and then we started heading out to our first spot to go catch some fish. The walleye fishing was absolutely insane, and I do mean absolutely insane. We were catching so many walleyes that it was pretty much the best walleye fishing trip I've been on in my entire life. The fishing was so unreal. And this is a chartreuse bait. That's a paddle tail from Salmo baits. I'm going to be throwing this down. I have a piece of nightcrawler on it. So I took the chartreuse paddle tail from Strike King with Salmo baits, and I dropped it about 20 feet down to the bottom, and I was literally bumping the bottom, pulling it up a couple inches, and thumping the bottom again, and we started catching fish. I was setting up my camera, and I left my rod down. Next thing you know, I had a fish on it before I even started reeling.
Oh, Johnny.
Fish on.
Double.
Double. This madness here. Oh my goodness, dude, these are some chompers. Very beautiful walleye out here on Meadow Lake. I bet he was eating good. Whitefish, walleye, fish on. Another beautiful walleye. No kissing. Yep, here it is. You can see, guys, right in the top of his mouth. Another beautiful walleye up here in Canada. We finished catching walleyes that morning and headed on back to camp to go ahead and cook up some shore lunch and get ready for going back out that evening. If you guys are enjoying this video, please like this video as well as subscribe if you haven't already and comment below. I would really appreciate that. After lunch, we head back on out for the evening bite to hopefully catch more walleyes. It was awesome. Yep, fish on. Fish on. That is awesome. This might be a pike.
Double header.
Double header? That's awesome.
Oh, you got a pike.
I got a pike. That's awesome. Awesome northern pike out here in Canada. Get a good release on him. He was ready.
Oh, shall we mimic?
Yep, fish on.
Yeah,
Fish
that's exactly
on.
what I'm doing.
Talk.
Ooh,
Whoa.
big walleye.
This is a
Big walleye.
big walleye. This is probably netter right here.
You're dead.
Dude.
Oh yeah, it's out.
That is a chunky walleye. That is probably by far one of the biggest walleyes I've caught here on this trip. That is awesome. See guys, that is crazy how big this walleye is. Very nice walleye. There he goes. Yeah, so guys, this is the slick shad right here. The chartreuse, it'll work amazing on these walleye and pike. We're pulling in walleyes left and right. And you guys can see he absolutely engulfed that bait. That's pretty awesome there. Love these baits. Beautiful walleye. Such a beautiful walleye out here. That is a very beautiful walleye out here. Another beautiful walleye.
Yeah. Oh, that's my favorite eater right there.
That's
17 and a half
beautiful.
inches.
That is so awesome. So let me give you guys a quick tour around the cabin. Got a bunch of bunk beds. Got main living quarters, fridge, stove, and couches that can turn into beds. Awesome table and a shower. Pretty awesome thing here. I'll put a link in the description below if you guys want to come up here to Ontario, Canada, catch some awesome walleyes and pike. Stay in this place or the main lodge where they'll feed you all your meals. Pretty awesome place. I gotta get the boat cleaned up, and then we're gonna be hopping on a float plane here in a second, and unfortunately heading back to Michigan. But it was awesome out here. Hey, what's up everyone? I'm here on Meadow Lake in Ontario, Canada. Thanks to John Bergsma inviting me out on this trip. We just packed up all our gear, getting ready to hop on a float plane here in a second. See the lodge behind me.
Yeah, you can't just. No, Johnny's gonna go right now. Come on. I made Johnny sit next to me every time we tried to have it done. Wow. It's amazing. This ancient thing. Yeah. You can tell I ain't joking. It's a 1940s. I know. I've been on this trip. Four people once. I had the nicest watch compared to this. Look, man, they treat them like gold. They're just only so many. Yeah. Well, they built them suckers to last back in the day. Oh, yeah. They go for miles, so it's got more expensive.
Well, hey guys, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. There's a couple people I want to thank right now. First of all, John Bergsma. He was the guy who invited me on an all expenses paid trip up to Ontario, Canada, like 10 hours north, float plane, the whole 9 yards, catching walleyes and pikes. And thank you as well for letting me film myself catching walleyes and pike up there to throw it out on my channel. Second person I want to thank is Paul Selle. Paul Selle went above and beyond in the evenings or in the mornings, taking me out walleye fishing, trying to help get some good content of us catching walleyes for my channel. I really appreciate you taking me out and getting me right over the fish and the whole 9 yards. Third of all, I want to thank you guys. You guys have been following my journey, liking my content, commenting, watching my videos. I really appreciate that. I know I just shared with you a bunch of the videos. Now I want to share with you guys some of the photos, and then I'll be out of here. But stay outdoors, keep on truck camping. I really appreciate you guys staying tuned with my journey. As always, stay outdoors, stay amazing. I'm gone. If you want to check out more videos about this trip, I will leave Landon B's YouTube channel right above this, and go ahead and tap that card and it'll send you straight over to his channel so you can check out his footage.